Yeah, this is 12 Chisholm Circle in Seville Grove, and we're going to go and see room by room what is going on with this one. And you know what? Yeah, there's some stuff going on. We're going to go and see what the story is, and you can work out whether or not it's a story that you want to get involved with and make a part of your story of how you made a whole bunch of money in real estate and you bought the right thing at the right time. Or maybe you'll go, nah, not my kind of story, and you'll let somebody else play the main character in that one. This is what we've got going on, folks. I'm going to show you just a quick crash course and say that's the lounge room, this is the kitchen, this is the living area, and it's kind of breezy. Yeah, this one has had some stuff going on, but we will see that in a bit more detail in a moment. I'm just going to get you that floor plan kind of thing going on in your head. By the way, you can see the full floor plan with all of the detail at markgrogan.com.au. It shows you the rooms, it shows you the layout, it shows you the size, and you can work out what you can turn it all into. But I've got to say, this is a practical kind of setup. We have the main bedroom. We also have the ensuite bathroom. We're coming back to see this in detail, by the way. We have this might be enough detail for you. There's that kitchen. We were there just a moment ago. We have this bedroom here. We have this bedroom here. That's number 3. We have bedroom number 4. And we have the main bathroom. Then we go outside, and this is where we're going to get into the detail shortly, folks. We have a great big patio that spans right across the property, and we have a pool. But, it's more like, it's less of a pool and more of a pond because, it ain't looking healthy. You know what? Let's just start here because we're here right now. We might as well get real right up front because, you could go, I really love the house, but at the end he showed me the pool that doesn't work anymore. So let's start with the pool that doesn't work anymore. This is what we've got going on, folks. Behind the pool gate, which, by the way, passes the council requirements. So we've got that part achieved already. And then we go through to here, where the swimming pool that I'm sure has seen many a lovely summer's afternoon is now here in the winter of its life. Yeah, it is kind of at the end of its life. There's been a bit of a buckle, a bit of a leak. I don't even know if it was leaking, actually. It's certainly not leaking now. It's been raining and it's filling back up. But, the sides have caved in. Everything with this one is pretty knackered. Can you fix it? No, it is beyond fixing. But the cool thing about the fact that this pool is here in this hole in the ground is the fact that if you wanted to have a swimming pool in your backyard, one of the hardest parts is getting the hole in the ground. It's digging. It's really hard. I don't know if you've ever dug a hole, but it's a hell of a job. And in this case, that's already been done. So, take this one out, because it's stuffed, and put a different one in. They use a crane for that. Unless you build a concrete one, which is really cool. But they put the pool on chains and stuff, and then the crane does all the heavy lifting, quite literally. And then they plonk it straight in the hole where the other one was. So, you're kind of taking advantage of it. Not actually that expensive to do it, because it certainly adds a lot more to the value of the property than the cost of putting it in my personal opinion. Obviously, subject to knowing exactly what those costs are. But I think pools are a big asset in this hot, hot country of ours. Yes, it's winter right now, but it will be summer once again. And, the thing about summer is it feels like it'll never end. And if you've got a swimming pool in the backyard, in that hole in the ground that we are so generously having left for you, well, you don't want that summer to end. And we are already underway with that. The filter and stuff, yeah, look, you're going to get a new one. It's as knackered as the pool. Otherwise, though, we've got this great big block. You could fill the pool in. That is an option as well. And all of that, very much an option. And then you've still got this great big backyard space. Check out all the dimensions and floor plan and all that sort of stuff. That shows you a site plan of exactly what's on offer. Whatever the case, you can leave that stagnant puddle there and just enjoy your beautiful big patio across the back of the home, because there ain't nothing wrong with that. Apart from maybe the party lights. Yeah. I get what the idea was, but we live in a festoon-like kind of era at the moment, and I don't know if the coloured globes will ever make their way back. There's a part of me that goes like nostalgic in this kind of idea and goes, I'd love it if that came back. because that reminds me of Christmas at Grandma and Granddad's house, and those were just a fixture of the backdrop of every photo with the family together and stuff. But I tell you what, we all would have looked a hell of a lot better if we just had normal festoon lighting, to be perfectly frank. But anyway, we can't expect Frank to be perfect, especially if it's the Frank that I'm related to. So let's go back to the front of the house, because if you're on board still with that idea, then you're going to be on board with all of this, because this is very achievable. It's 4 bedrooms, it's 2 bathrooms, it needs some paint, quite a bit of paint, I think, and it needs some new carpets, quite a few new carpets, I think. A bit of durries going on in this house, okay, so not gonna lie, smells a bit like smoke. That is something that you can get rid of with paint. Give those walls a good old wash, get that paintbrush into the cornices and the crevices, get that roller on the walls, and you will have this thing back to the way it always should have been. And the net curtains look, I mean, they're gorgeous. You could wash them or get rid of them, because, let me have a little sniff here. Yeah. Peter Stuyvesant, I think. So at least branded stuff. This isn't want any, it's good quality home, good quality durries, because I reckon that it smells like a branded cigarette. I don't think that's the stench of something from one of these, corner stores that keeps on popping up and getting shut down, so the other one can open up and get shut down, so the other one can open up again. Anyway, that's just my little opinion on that. So this is the room of the main bedroom. We have plenty of space, ample space for a queen size. Probably a king size bed will comfortably fit in this room. Work out the dimensions for yourself on that floor plan. You know where it is. If you don't already, it's at markgrogan.com.au. You might have been there and seen that and gone, yeah, now I'll watch the video. Or you might want to see the whole video and then check it out. Or hit pause on it. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do. Hit pause and check it out. Can I chuck it into the video? That sounds like an awful lot of editing. I'll leave you to go and search for it. So the ceiling was white. I don't know whether or not somebody was smoking in bed, but I got a pretty good idea that that might have been the case. So the ceilings, obviously you want to paint all of that. Carpet's actually all right. I would say personally, get rid of it, put a new one down. Hard to get rid of the smell of Peter Stuyvesant, that is for sure. Stuyvesant, I don't know. I don't want to give him the respect with all the damage he's done to the lungs around the place of getting his name correct in the first place. Interesting to name yourself, like to name a thing like that after yourself. Real estate agents, they get it, like with the personal branding and everything like that. Mark Grogan, real estate guy, that sort of thing. Peter Stuyvesant, lung cancer guy. The walk-in wardrobe, shelving, hanging space, all of that. The ensuite bathroom, it's got a toilet. It's got a vanity. Although, don't know if vanity's your problem if you're smoking in bed. And we have, maybe it is, I think like that Marilyn Monroe, pretty sure she would have. And, fairly vain character. That is just me passing judgments on things. You're not here for that. You're here to look at a house. Gee, but I've got you and I'm going to tell you what I think. So that is the shower curtain. Probably change that too for a couple of reasons. Number one, it probably smells like smoke. I don't know if the occupants smoked in the shower. That's not an ashtray, that's a soap dish there. But, get rid of it. It's a shower curtain, probably because it's a shower curtain as well. Power, just behind the toilet, so you can charge your phone while you're on the can. And, I mean, people do use their phones on the toilet. I know that. You might be watching this while you're on the toilet. I don't know. And that is the window that we probably should have mentioned before. Has a roller shutter on it. So roller shutters on the main bedroom window, roller shutters on the lounge room window too. So if you're turfing those curtains in the meantime, you can still have that roller shutter down. It's an as is, where is sale. Did I not mention that already? I probably should have. Got off on my little soapbox about soap dishes, and the thing with the as is sale, it's what you see is what you get. Here's what you get though. Kitchen has gas cooktop. Is it working? It's as is, where is. And we've got, I don't know. Let's have a listen. I feel like gas must be switched off. But anyway, put a new one in. It's going to look a whole lot better if you do. It has the range hood there. Does it work? Oh, there you go. 100 points if the lights work. They never work. Oh, yeah! That's 100 points. That is absolutely brilliant. The lights work too. Do you want to clean the filters? I think so. Probably give them a quick rinse. And the oven. Do you want a new oven? I think you do. The glass on that one has cracked and broken. So it doesn't actually look like that old of an oven. Made in Australia. Who knows when it was made? Since QR codes became a thing, that's for sure. Anyway, whatever the case, you'll want to replace that. So, pantry, dishwasher, does it work? I don't know if I'm labouring the point or not, but it's an as-is where is sale, so we can't say for sure. One thing that is great about this kitchen is the workspace. Lots of workspace over on this side, and it's kind of got the breakfast bar overhang too. So, I personally, okay, I'm just going to start telling you what I've already started telling you what I reckon, haven't I? We're going to jump into that a little bit more, because one thing is that I have opinions on cigarette stuff, but real estate sales, that's kind of my bag, baby. I love that stuff. That's what I do all day. And how to sell them for more? Well, I got some good ideas on that too. You could be an investor, or you could just be a home buyer. Whatever the case, if you're a home buyer, this is the stuff I think you should do, because it adds a whole bunch of value to your property. And whether you get and I always get people who watch these videos and they're like, what is it about real estate agents always trying to make stuff sell for more? It's called the economy, my friend. That's just how we roll. We always want to have more money than we used to. That's kind of, I mean, it's not the purpose, but it's like a pretty big part of the waking hours, okay? That and relationships with people and all that sort of stuff, I know. And it's not some capitalism, it's just someone looking out for their future. So I honestly have to say that, because these people, they never stop in the comments. Right. That section there that I've been staring at while I've been rambling on about that is that I would knock that little nib wall off there and get a little bit more of a breakfast bar going on this side as well, because you've got a bit more depth that way to your workspace, but you've also got functional kind of congregational area around your kitchen, and that's important. That really makes for a nice flow with a property, and there's a whole lot you can do with that. Obviously, the way the tiles are currently, it would need some maybe modifications if you were changing the dimensions of the bench and all that kind of stuff, but it's worth it. It's totally worth that. This would probably be a lounge area here, because I think that works better as a meals area over on that side, being that it's adjacent to the kitchen, but also just the dimensions of that space. And then through here. One thing that would really, I think, elevate this area, if I look at it from that renovation perspective, would be a ceiling. Because the roof tiles, I mean, it's always good to know how the roof is working. Ultimately, houses are there to provide shelter. The roof is a huge part of that. But you don't need to look at it all the time. So I think put a ceiling back there. The last one collapsed. Get one of the ones that doesn't collapse, and I reckon you will be home and hosed with that. Roll the shutter on that window there. That ceiling, by the way, to replace that, if you're just like sussing out prices, if you've never done that before, we're looking at an area that's about 1, 2, 3 and a bit, 3.5 by 1, 2, 3, call it 3.5 by 3.5. We've got a structural report available for this property, by the way, and I reckon you should have a look at that. It's available at, you got it, markgrogan.com.au. You can download that there just by sending us an inquiry. We'll automatically send that to you. And it does say structural defect. One of the structural defects, believe it or not, actually pertains to this ceiling here. You might notice from here that the cornice is kind of running down that way, because when this thing fell, it took some of that with it, and it needs to be screwed back up there. We've actually got a quote, so you can at least get that part done if you want to. So, the bedrooms. Bedrooms number 2, 3, and 4. Starting with number 2, we have a built-in wardrobe. We also have an orange wall, a yellow wall, a blue wall, and like a pink wall. So, you know, pick your favourite and work from there. This room here, this looks like a Barbie dream house blew up. But anyway, here it is. A pink wall, a pink wall, a pink wall, a pink wall, but a white ceiling. I don't think this kid smoked in bed. So that's fantastic and a great place to start from. We have a built-in wardrobe there. And bedroom number 4. All one colour, not that offensive. And the walls are, all like a creamy kind of colour. But not like a cigarette kind of creamy colour. Like a creamy colour, like the tin of paint was cream. White ceilings in here as well. So that's what you're working with to kick it off in these rooms. I mean, look, there's not much more I can say about them. They all have built-in wardrobes. They're not massive, but they're decent. The property has fibre to the premises. That's the whole setup with that. This room was used as a study. Probably not a study in interior design. This is the main bathroom. So we have the shower. Formerly a bath here, by the way. That's why the taps are still there. They don't need to be there, but there was a bath here at one stage. The vanity. And power. Coming back this way, we have the laundry, which if you know me, I'm excited because it's got a door. Love a laundry with a door. We have a linen cupboard. It also has a door. Do you want to see in there? Sure, I'll show you. And we have the laundry trough, space for the washing machine, space for the dryer, and the toilet. No PowerPoint to charge your phone while you're on there, but you know, you can plan these things throughout the day and make sure you've got plenty of charge if that's what you're doing when you're in there. Filthy habit that is. Okay. So there's a security screen on the door. There's security screens on all the windows. There is evaporative air conditioning, and I'm not sure if I said it before, but it's an as-is, where-is sale. So what you see is what you get. The aircon will be sold on an as-is basis. I believe it needs servicing. Might not be working at all. That is just what it is. Out here, obviously the pool, as is. The filter, as is. The green light that has got some flaking paint will still be there with its flaking paint. Can't guarantee it works. Again, what you see is kind of green, but also kind of not. This is the garage. We have a single door, single bay garage here, and that works. While that goes up, we have the solar on the roof. Now, people always ask me, they're like, how many kilowatts is the solar panel system? I think people only seem to know when they put it in, because they never can answer the question for me. The current owner is not aware of exactly what the story is, but does that mean anything to you? If it does, you're a smarter cookier than I am. But if you don't know what it is, then that puts you on par with pretty much most people. So this, again, you've seen it go up, you've seen it go down. By the way, if you need to, there's a heap of space here for a trailer, if you wanted to swing it in this way, or these fence panels here. I'm just going to put that back up again, so I'm going to show you from the front. While we wait for that, the garden shed there, all super practical. The clothesline, all of this just neat and tidy out this side, not in the way of anything, which is great. So at the moment there's a garden bed, but if you needed to create access for parking down the side, still plenty of room to do that. Take out the garden bed if you need to, and all that room down the side. Working oh so well. All right, let's go around the other side. More paving, more paving, more paving. So much paving. That's one thing you don't have to do. And along here, just a little bit of additional cover along this side. I believe it once was shade cloth, now it's just the clear sheeting. And there is the gas storage hot water system. So that is a full lap of 12 Chisholm Circle in Seville Grove. I think that's pretty much shown you everything that you would need to see about this property. It is a very practical design. It's not massive, but it sure is workable. It's not pretty, but it sure can be. You can take care of that. There's a whole bunch of options with this one. Hopefully, you've seen everything you need to see with this. I love it. I reckon there's a lot of potential. I can't wait to see what you do with it. If you want to come and see it in person so you can come and see what you want to do with it, if that 21 minutes of me wandering around telling you my thoughts, dreams, hopes, and opinions, well, if that's not enough, then that's okay. I understand. Set up a time to come and see it by what's the website? markgrogan.com.au, where you've got the floor plan, where you've got the structural plan, where you've got the contact agent button so you can set up a time to come and see it for yourself. I don't know if I said it before, but it's an as-is, where-is sale. So that alarm there, not working. That aircon, probably not working. I'm going to guess not working. If it does, you just got lucky, my friends. And out here, obviously, we kind of just marched straight in before, so I'll just give you one final look at the front of the house so you can see for yourself just what is on offer here at 12 Chisholm Circle in Seville Grove. Thank you so much for having a look around. I can't wait to see you here in person. Or if you've already seen everything you need to see and you don't want to come in person, I just look forward to giving you the keys in the not too distant future. Thanks so much for looking around.